We went through all the details. I showed how to record and I showed how to save files, send them then over to us to edit. They were like, wow, is that it? Like, this is even simpler than the USB microphone we were using. This is amazing. Hello, I am going to explore today what podcasting equipment it genuinely makes sense to buy if you are A, non-techie, B, would like super simple setup, and 3, have a great quality audio. So today I went in to see one of our clients in London. They are a financial institution, absolutely non-techie. Needless to say, the setup needed to be super simple because it couldn't be set and forget. It had to be taken apart and removed from the room that they book in to make the recordings. So very tricky to go with the traditional setup that would require to have a audio interface, wires connecting to the microphone stand, and then obviously you've got to have the power to the audio interface, and then you need to have a computer where the audio gets recorded on. It gets a little bit confusing, especially if you don't have a recording tech person with you in the room, which, let's face it, very often happens to my clients. So what did we go for? There are 3 people who record the podcast. In most cases, it's actually 2. The third person occasionally turns up to the recording. So what do? There is a computer. The current setup was just a regular computer and 1 USB microphone. And I'm going to cringe now. It was the Snowball Yeti microphone. Oh no, please don't use that. And they shared it between the 3 of them. The quality of audio was really poor. Not much we could do with that. It just was what it was. The room itself was really nice with very basic treatment to the walls for soundproofing. There was an aircon on, and on the Snowball Yeti, we could pick it up massively. There was that constant hum. So 3 people, which means if we were to really propose an upgrade to the setup, we would need to introduce an audio interface. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because with a setup that cannot stay in place, you need to have somebody to physically unplug each part at a time, remove it from the room, plug it back in, put it back in, set up the microphones. It can get messy very fast. That really genuinely wasn't an option. Plus, let's have a look at the cost. If we were to go with a traditional 3 mic setup, the equipment we would recommend would be Rodecaster Pro 2, which is £357 currently here in the UK. Expensive, great piece of equipment. For that, you will need to put the wires for each microphone. That probably will be around £50. Good quality wires are actually really important. We've seen so many times people using great microphones, buying really cheap wires and having issues with noise. Then you also need a microphone stand for each microphone. Those, if you want them on the desk without the mounting because you need to move them out, £50 per microphone. And a microphone, well, I wouldn't recommend anything else other than the Shure SM7B, which is a gold standard in the podcasting world. Fantastic microphone, but comes with a hefty price, £314 at the moment. So the full cost of the traditional setup comes to £1,600 minimum. I haven't included in that cost headphones, which ideally you should wear to monitor the audio, especially when there is 3 of you and there could be things online that interfering with the recording. So quite expensive. What did we end up going with? Well, actually, super simple. I kind of fell in love with it by complete accident. And it is here. It's this little tiny little box. Inside it, it hides 2 wonderful wireless pro microphones and the receiver, transmitter. If you want to connect it to a camera, you don't have to. And this is where this comes in handy. You literally can take it out of the box, press record at the top, and off you go. It stores audio on this. And all I need to do is then plug that beautiful case through USB-C connector directly into my computer. It comes up as a little hard drive and I can grab the audio files from there. Could not be easier, right? So the only gotcha with that, there are 2 in the case. So I can set up 2 people to record. So what about the occasional third person? With that, we went with just a single wireless go-to microphone, one of those. And that means that when there is that occasional third person, we just have that extra device. It's super simple setup. Now, when I've introduced this to the team today, we went through all the details. I showed how to record and I showed how to save files, send them then over to us to edit. They were like, wow, is that it? Like, this is even simpler than the USB microphone we were using. This is amazing. And I absolutely agree. The quality of the recordings on those is insane. At the end of the video, I have a little comparison file for you to listen to. And it will be me doing a recording on one of those and then doing a recording on this. Yes, there is a difference in quality because I have a very good settings on the Rodecaster Pro. And I have set up my compressor, EQ, and everything else already on it. But do keep in mind that we would do that manually for the client, obviously, when recording on something like this. Whilst it's not going out of the box like the same, it's freaking insane and so much better than the USB microphone they've used before. So what I want to say to you is don't be afraid to use the wireless microphones. People associate those as something that you would plug into the camera. If you are a YouTuber, vlogger, you're like, yeah, I'm wearing one of those. What stops you creating amazing content with this? What that means is that you can turn any room into your podcast studio. You can have a non-techie person using podcasting equipment without any barriers. And for me, this is a game changer in terms of the final quality of the output, the amazing ease of setup. I mean, honestly, all it is, you just plug it into your computer. You've got to download Rode Central app, which is kind of like a super simple app that will keep those up to date. So every time you plug them into your computer and there is an update, it will automatically do it. There is no personal details. It just works. You don't have to set up an account, nothing like that. And then you can manage the files from there. It is the simplest thing I have come across, and Rode is known to make things easy. And this certainly is easy. The quality is fantastic. Now, you may be wondering the price of this box, 2 microphones, and it comes with this very handy little device that you could plug into a camera so that microphones communicate with it and send the audio directly. But if you just need audio, you don't need this. So this can just permanently live in the little case. That comes at £250. So this is a setup for 2 people. If you wanted that additional microphone, it's £75 for the wireless go-to microphone on its own. I think it represents incredible value. There is actually nothing else to say to that. If you have any questions, let me know. But without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the samples.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of a podcast. This is a test. I am sitting in a room that isn't audio treated in any way. I don't have much noise in the background because obviously it's just a room. There are no external noises coming in. The microphone sits on my jumper. It's just clipped onto my jumper, and I am testing to see how it sounds when recorded.
Hello, and this is me recording on my more complex setup, which is Rodecaster Pro with a Shure SM7B microphone. It's the same room as in the previous recording. The audio is not treated in any way afterwards. So this is just to give you an idea of how the kind of raw recording sounds. And it should give you a really good idea of what to expect from this kind of microphone setup. So that's it. Let me know in the comments down below whether you would decide to purchase this setup for the ease of use and the simplicity of the setup. If yes, just put the thumbs up in the video comments. If no, let me know why. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching.